Hey there, this is Luke Moyle, and today I'll be taking you through my sort of week 4, 5, 6, and half of 7 progress update. So it's a little bit different than usual because usually I would be going through Google Slides with screenshots and stuff like that, but I've sort of been trying to, if I can remember, I'm not really used to recording myself while doing my work, but trying to record all of my progress and all my modeling, my sculpting, and everything in between to use as a sort of guide video for people at the end, because I was going to make a document, but everyone in this day and age is so everyone loves a good YouTube video or something like that. So to make it more accessible to people of my age, I figured I would make it a video instead. So yeah, I try to go through most of my modeling process except for the things that I forgot to record because I'm silly. Um, but yeah, here it is. So with the videos that I've got so far, I start off. This is after a 6 month break, so I'm a little bit rusty. So I start off going through and modeling this pauldron. So I start off with a basic shape and essentially cut away the parts that I don't need, making it that sort of semicircular shape, or quarter circular shape apparently, um, and extruding and just merging points and everything. A lot of the basic tools, really, nothing too crazy. But in the end, I spend way too long on this pauldron. Um, yeah, so I end up essentially gutting the insides, and then sort of following that inside curve. But it's yeah. And then the general shape from using making sure I keep on going back to my concept art that I had drawn of the character. As you can see here, I'm trying to create these spiky sort of wing pieces that come out around the bottom of the pauldron. And it's more of the same, just selecting faces, extruding, rotating, smoothing. Here I'm using the soft selection tool. So once you select a face, you can press B in Maya, and then you can hold B, and it comes up with a circle that you can drag click in and out, and it will soft select the areas around that face. Which I find it just makes it easier to keep everything, because if you move just singular faces, it sort of distorts everything a bit too much. But if you soft select those faces and you make it really strong at the spot that you need and less strong around the outside, you can manipulate most of what you need while bringing everything else sort of along with it slightly, so it all sort of keeps its main shape. And then just put it on the model, see how it looks. And here's where I sort of started to try something new. I usually, with all my previous models, I had just selected faces and extruded and softened and everything to try and make the clothing and everything. But with this one, I decided that I would actually just select parts of the body. So as for this one, you can see that at the start here, I had literally just selected his torso, and I had just cut away his torso I duplicated his whole body and then cut away everything except for the torso, and then I've just modeled everything from the torso, which has left a nice snug fitting breastplate, which is what I've tried to create here. And yeah, as you can see, I think it works pretty well. It hugs his shape and looks form fitted to him. Just tried to smooth it out and add a little bit of detail. Although I found, in retrospect, I have found that a lot of this detail would have been a lot easier and a lot quicker to add with ZBrush, which I'm only new to. I hadn't even tried it really at the point where I'm modeling this character. And yeah, I sort of followed the exact same method of just duplicating the body, and then I would cut off from his elbow to his wrist to make this bracer, and that's essentially how I made every piece of armor that touches his body. I just cut off the areas that I duplicated the body and cut off the areas that I needed from that body part, and then model it from there. As you can see here, I did the same thing for the leg armor. But I went through lots of iterations on this one because I just couldn't get it to sit right or get it to look how I needed it to look on the character. Yeah. So unfortunately, this is one of the bits that I missed because I was stupid and didn't record it. His giant scroll cape thing that I had. It might look a little bit high. I mean, it looks pretty cool, but it's not really. It's not an extreme shape. It's literally just a cylinder that I had put just put cuts in certain areas, like at the end here. I put a cut in, and then I selected all those faces, and then just extruded outwards to make this big lip, and then the face at the end here, I just grabbed all these faces in the middle here, and then I shrunk them to give this little bit of a gap, and then I pressed extrude once, and then I extruded again on the exact same spot, except pulled it further into the cylinder to make this shape. And then along here, I did the same. To make this ridge, I did the same thing here. And then for the little buckles, I use this tool, which is sort of like it's like a beveling tool. So you select a face, and when you click on this one, it makes like a smaller face on the inside of that square. And then I selected. God, I really wish I had recorded it. And it makes me it's, when you have the ideas in your head, but you just can't get it out on video apparently. Yeah. So more of that leg, because I redid this leg armor piece like 5 times because I just could not get it to sit the way I wanted to. The way I had everything pressed into the body, by the way, it all looks, as you can see here, it all looks really ugly from the back and on the insides, but I don't think that really matters, obviously, because it's going to be inside the model. Once you get to the sculpting section and 3D printing it and everything, it's not going to be obvious, it's not going to be visible to the person, so it doesn't really matter how the insides looks. And that's sort of something I've thought about a lot while making this whole thing is, I've put a little bit less time into his bum or his back because he's going to have a big cape, so there's no need to put heaps of detail into those areas because, yeah. And here's how I sort of made those loops. It was literally just I got the donut. I think there's like a basic shape that's like a big donut, and you can change the parameters of that to have less divisions and everything, less subdivisions, so it becomes this shape instead. God, I'm gonna have to see. I'm glad that I'm going over this video now because it's giving me insight as to when I actually go to make the video that I'm going to have to jump into Maya and make little tutorials on how I did these little things, these little things that I didn't think that were important that are now important. Sorry, this is looking like a longer video. I need to tie this up before 10 minutes at least. So yeah, like I said, copy the body, cut that piece off, make it larger, and then sculpt and shape it into the shape that I need. And as you can see, that's how I made this, the leg, or the shoe. Finally moving into the sculpting. This is when I first started. It took me a long time to grapple with the controls and stuff, because I'm used to the controls of Maya, and I figured, same companies made the same program, that hopefully it would, translate over, but no, it's completely different. Yeah, with this, I just brought the body in and I just started I started off trying to make wrinkles, and I was just playing with literally every tool that I could, and I was trying to make, as you can see, I made giant ravines on his body, but I'm just trying to make wrinkles in his clothing and improve the shapes of different objects, and I found this really, I was just completely entranced by this stupid little brush that just made stitching for some reason. So I think I'm going to have to go back and smooth it out, because I just added stitching to like every part of his body because I just enjoyed it too much. Yeah, as you can see here, it's on the... my language. Gosh, I'm going to have to cut that out. It's on his shoe for some reason. Yeah, I just added it everywhere. But yeah, I was essentially just coming through here and adding just a little bit of detail here and there just to cover out different areas. just adding. Oh, here we go. Finally, so I'm onto the face sculpting now. This is something that I was completely new to. Again, going through all different tools like using clay build-up to create the shapes, then using Dam Standard to create the divots and stuff where his eyes and nostrils and stuff are. Coming back over with the smooth brush and smoothing out the various surfaces. And then again, something I learned here that I didn't know. It looks a little bit silly, his lips at the moment, but it took me ages to realize that. So, for instance, with the Dam Standard brush, it makes like a soft cut into it. So like his lip here on the inside. But if you hold the Alt key, it reverses the effect of the brush and make like the complete opposite. So as you can see here, I've made a rise on the skin. But it's just that opened my mind up to so many different ideas with the different tools, because some of the tools I thought, oh, this would look cool if it was indented instead of building on top of the surface, and yeah. So I followed in my previous team message, I followed lots and lots of different little tutorials to make all of this stuff, and it's all detailed in there, but I'll also go over it in this video later to make once I've refined it. Realize he's looking a little bit like Thanos at the moment with all those marks and indentations around his chin, but yikes. And yeah, using trying to figure out how to use masking tools to select different areas, and I for some reason here I just could not get it to. It just selected the opposite part. I wanted it to select the upper part, but it kept selecting the eyeball. Ugh. Yeah, lots of little nuanced. Lots of nuances to all these little tools that they all go so in depth if you really want to. Each tool requires its own masterclass. Creating the ears. So this was something else I realized, is that in my mind I was always like, oh, I need to sculpt something off of something, but with sculpting, it's all about like adding different shapes and then sculpting that shape and adding it to the main body, once I realized that, made it a lot easier. As you can see here, I started going with the same idea by just putting the hair in and like as these big blobs and then sculpting it up to look like hair, but it all looked a little bit, rough. It looked, when I look back at it, I'm like, oh, it looks really terrible, because my later discovery of watching more tutorials and more videos and sitting here for hours was that I could use a tool called Curve Tube Snap, I think it was called. A little bit convoluted of a name, but you can essentially tell it to lock the end piece of the hair, so the tip, so when you grab the end, you can pull it taut, but it won't move from here, so you can really shape the hair out. This was me trying a custom brush that some person had recommended, but I couldn't really get the shape out of it that I wanted, and then I found a video of a lady who showed me how to use just one of the basic brushes, but to change the modifiers of it, and you essentially, get this. Yeah, I have another video. I think I must have missed it. I must have missed importing it. Where is it? Real quick. Yeah, this is the one. Go on. Alright. Zoom in. I'm not a Premiere Pro either. I didn't record it because of course I didn't. I'm terrible at this. But as you can see, using that tube snap, I'm able to drag out certain pieces of hair, grab the ends, and flick them out to make this shape. So, going back through, I start off with this basic shape of hair, and then instead of just strapping it straight to the face, because it wouldn't really have the same shape or volume that I'm looking for. And then using all those various modifiers, I can go through and I can drag and click and pull and move all these bits of hair into the shape that I want. So trying to just cover that basic mold that I had there, and it slowly took shape into what I liked and what I wanted. So the next steps are that I'm going to I've gone in and I will smooth out all those bits of hair because they're a little bit low poly. I'll add some eyebrows so he looks a little bit less like an alien. And then I'll test fit his head onto his body and see how it all looks. After that, I'll start on the base, and that will be quite the ordeal. So I better get into it. Anyway, thank you for checking out my update. Very long one. Hopefully another one comes by soon. All right, bye bye.